Hey everybody, Rockin Robbie Billups here. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers and our weekly pop culture review. That's right, everyone. Weekly Pop Culture Review. It's the show where we kind of just go over what has been goings on in pop culture this week, mostly comic books and movies. And let's get right into it. It was kind of an exciting week in comics. Overall, the comic book week was very, very solid. Royal City, number 4, made my pick of the week. And the moment that I'm talking about in Cave Carson was the moment when, with the brain. Let's just say that. You should definitely read Cave Carson or flip through it. It has one of the most outlandish moments in comic books this year. Definitely check that out. So, comic book wise, first of all, Marvel Legacy. So, a lot of people have been very dissatisfied with Marvel as of late. They do not like the legacy characters. They do not like there being a new Iron Man, a new Captain America, a new Thor. They want their old characters back and all that, whatnot. I've really been enjoying a lot of the Marvel titles. Now, overall, I don't think Marvel is very strong. I don't think they have a very strong direction right now. And I don't think it has anything to do with Riri Williams or Jane Foster or Sam Wilson or Moon Girl or anything like that. I think what it has to do with is just a very poor story direction. Talking about Civil War II leading into Secret Empire, it's just like we're jumping from event to mini event to event. Big event to a mini event to a big event, and so many of them have been duds in my opinion. Original Sin, I did not like whatsoever. I didn't find it appealing at all. Some of the Spider-Man events have not really been that good. Clone Conspiracy I thought was good at first, but I didn't really like the way it ended and how it set up the story for Ben Reilly afterwards. Just overall, like Civil War II, I just thought it was terrible. There's a lot of stuff that I think that's the problem with Marvel. That's what they need to worry about. But it almost seems like Marvel Legacy is basically them trying to do a Marvel Rebirth in a way. So they're going back to their legacy numbering, and that's nifty and that's cool. Why do they always relaunch with new number ones? Because it works. Because they get a bump in sales. And sometimes if someone's trying to get into a character and they show up and it says issue 783, that's a little intimidating. They're going to think that they're going to be lost. They're going to feel like they don't have a good jumping on point. And that's why they do that kind of stuff. But whatever, all that aside, overall, on Thursday night, they said, we're going to change the comic book industry. And then Friday, the announcements came, and they were very severely underwhelming, absolutely. Just basically homage covers. So all the covers to these first issues, at least, are homaging a famous Marvel cover in the past, and that's cool, but mostly it's just the same titles. Not really a lot of creative teams have been named, but some interesting and not so interesting announcements. First of all, Marvel 2-in-1. There were lots of rumors at HeroesCon last week about Marvel maybe doing a Fantastic 3 book, which I thought would probably be Ben, Johnny, and Victor. I thought that could actually work and be a cool, viable way to kind of reignite the franchise. However, then rumors started coming out that it was going to be 2. Excel Alonso tweeted out an image of the Thing with the 2 on his belt instead of a 4. So we're like, Fantastic 2? A lot of people thought Marvel 2-in-1. Chris Polk, you're one of those. You called it. It was Marvel 2-in-1. I'm excited because to me, this is a step in the right direction. I'm a huge Fantastic Four nut. Love the Fantastic Four. My favorite comic book ever. But I really like Reed Richards. Like, Mr. Fantastic is my homie. Like, he's my favorite Marvel character, period, outside of Dr. Doom. I just love the whole thing. Doom and Richards, all that stuff. So I'm very excited to see a step in the right direction. Half of the Fantastic Four back in their own book. I hope it's good. I'm not familiar with a creative team that's been announced, so that's cool. Also teased was the death of the mighty Thor with a cover that was very reminiscent of the death of Captain Marvel. Of course, Captain Marvel died of cancer. Jane Foster has cancer. She doesn't when she is Thor, but it undoes all of the treatment that she's gone through as a human when she becomes Thor. So this is the way the story has been heading. This is the direction it's going. Will it actually end with the death of Jane Foster or just her giving up the mantle of Thor so she could actually focus on her disease and getting better as a person? However, that's very exciting. It seems like a natural flow for the story, and that's kind of cool, and I hope it's good. So far, Jason Aaron's Thor run, especially with Jane Foster as Thor, has been tremendous. So also announced is the fact that Sam Wilson, for real, for sure, is no longer going to be Captain America. He is going to be the Falcon. I believe he's getting his own series. So I'm glad that they're keeping Sam in his own series. I really liked Sam as Captain America, so I'm going to be sad to see that chapter end. It's actually already over. If you read his actual comic, the last issue before Secret War, he kind of gave it up, and he's not really Captain America right now in Secret Empire. But Falcon is cool. I'm cool with it because reading the Captain America Sam Wilson stuff has helped me appreciate the character of Sam Wilson so much more. So I'm super pumped for the new Falcon book, though I don't think the costume's very good if you saw the artwork. Spirits of Vengeance is coming back, and it's got like Satana and Hellstorm and a Ghost Rider. Like, not super excited for that, except for Blade is in it. I'm super stoked that Blade is going to be in a comic book, and that's awesome. However, I really do wish it was a solo Blade book, so I'm disappointed because of that. Because some of those other characters I don't really care about that much at all. Blade, though, is my man. I love me some Blade. So, comic book wise, next week we do a weekly comic book review where I sit there and I talk about the comics I read. And I usually read about like 20 to 25 comics or more. This week's going to be a little bit lighter. I'm really looking forward to that. At least I hope it appears on paper to be a light week. It's been some really heavy weeks lately. But upcoming this week, what I'm looking forward to for next week's this upcoming weekly comic book review, the Batman Elmer Fudd special is coming out by Tom King. That's just weird enough to be very, very exciting. Sad but excited to read Wonder Woman number 25, Greg Rucka's last issue in the title. Of course, also Detective Comics, Action Comics, and Flash have been really good and impressing me at DC Comics. They come out next week as well. From Dynamite, or is it IDW? I think it's IDW, I think. Clue number 1, based on the board game, so that's interesting. Apparently the book's going to have multiple endings, just like the movie did. That movie, I loved that movie when I was a kid. Absolutely. And Professor Plum for the win, by the way. Jim and the Holograms, the Infinite series, that starts next week, so I'm super, super pumped for that. Amazing Spider-Man number 29 comes out. That's the Secret Empire tie-in that has him coming face-to-face with the Superior Octopus. So that seems to be really cool. I'm really pumped for that. Also, Secret Empire number 5 comes out next week, so that's going to be interesting. I hope it turns the corner because I've been very disappointed in the last few issues. Absolutely. Also, Defenders number 2. I am very excited to read that because number 1 blew me away. I thought it was great. It's one of the best Bendis books in years. So I thought that was really cool. Also from Valiant, because I'm trying to get into some Valiant stuff for one of our buddies, Nelson, who always comments down below how much Valiant is awesome sometimes. Secret Weapons number 1 comes out, so I might check that one out. That's what's coming out next week in comic books. Movies. What happened in movies this week? Well, first of all, I finally watched Moana because, of course, you may know, it's on Netflix now. I adored it. Thought it was great. It's good to see a Rock film because I'm a huge fan of The Rock. That's good. Not bashing on The Rock. I love The Rock. I just don't think he's always in the best movies. Case in point, Baywatch, right? But he's also in some good movies, and The Rock is just an amazing person, at least as far as I'm aware. He's very inspirational and inspiring. Inspirational and inspiring. Yeah. Good job, Robbie. But anyway, I finally watched it. I thought it was really cool. Island mythology, a good soundtrack, decent. Disney hasn't quite captured the magic that they once had with their animated films, with their animated musical films, but it's a step in the right direction. I really did like it, and brilliant, beautiful, luxurious colors in this movie. It was amazing. Check it out if you haven't already. It should blow you away like it did me. It's a great, simple, charming hero's journey story for everybody. It's amazing. Fantastic Four. Let's talk about the Fantastic Four again. Any opportunity I have to talk about the Fantastic Four, I will. Fox announced, or there's a rumor that Fox is talking about doing another Fantastic Four movie, not giving the rights back to Marvel or not working something out or whatever, but I just want a really good, solid Fantastic Four movie. I think it's a possibility, but I don't like the direction that the rumor is saying they're going. The rumor is basically saying that it's going to be about the children of the Fantastic Four, a family-friendly, kid-oriented movie, which I'm cool with that, to be honest, though I wish that Trank's vision actually worked out right, because a dark, edgy sci-fi thing could be really cool. But a family-friendly adventure thing would be cool because, let's be honest, the best Fantastic Four film ever made was The Incredibles. So they want this one to be Franklin and Valeria, the children of Susan and Reed. They want it to be like an adventure they're having with their uncles, Johnny and Ben. So Human Torch and Thing and Franklin and Val. So that's the idea. That's kind of cool. But like I just said earlier, I'm a huge fan of Reed Richards and, of course, Susan Storm. Don't sleep on those characters. They are amazing and very important to the Marvel Universe, and they would be very, very important to a Fantastic Four film, and not using them would be a mistake, at least in this lifelong Fantastic Four fan's mind. So that's what I got to say about that. Han Solo lost their director, their directors. There were two of them, right? I don't remember their names, but originally it was announced that it was creative differences and they stepped aside. Then it comes out that maybe they got fired because the studio didn't like their style. They kept clashing with the director and with the producer and the writer. So that's kind of what happened, but Ron Howard stepped in to take over and do the Han Solo job. So I'm kind of pumped for this Han Solo movie. We shall see. I wasn't the hugest fan of Rogue One, though I love Force Awakens. So I'm not that pumped for the Han Solo movie, but I will check it out, especially now that Ron Howard is attached to it, because Ron Howard has done some amazing films. Case in point, Apollo 13. Come on, guys, right? So I think Ron Howard could do it justice. I think he's got that whole Lucas Spielberg type vein and style at times, and I think that's appropriate for a Star Wars film. So let's go for that. Hopefully this isn't too much studio interference, but overall, I kind of trust Disney with Star Wars property, I guess. I don't know. My homie John, Hammer Time host, you just told me that Patty Jenkins has officially signed on to direct the Wonder Woman sequel, and that's awesome. And I read an article today that my girlfriend sent me about Joss Whedon's script for Wonder Woman that he wrote back in the day, in the early mid-2000s, that it came out and it was actually pretty bad. I haven't read it myself, but I've heard it was pretty bad. And Patty Jenkins did a much better job at presenting the character. The character of Wonder Woman in that movie was amazing. I thought the movie was all right. It had some really great moments. That No Man's Land scene gave me chills inside, and it's because they nailed the character of Diana, of Wonder Woman. I loved it. Thought that part was amazing in particular, so I'm very pumped to see Patty Jenkins come back and do the Wonder Woman sequel. Also was announced officially that Carnage will be the villain in the Venom movie starring Tom Hardy, and that maybe this Venom movie is actually tied into the cinematic Marvel universe. Who knows? It seems like Sony really wants that to be the case. Marvel's like, we don't really know. Maybe they want to see the Venom script first too, because I do. I want to see the Venom script because I think Tom Hardy as Venom is an amazing casting job. I think that would be great. I hope he's not Agent Venom and Eddie Brock like crazy Venom. I want to see him after Spider-Man though, and not Carnage. And I want a build up to Venom. I want a black costume saga in a movie done right. Like, they almost tried so hard. If they would have just had the ending of Spider-Man 3 be Eddie Brock get the costume, that would have been better, and then set up for a part 4 with Venom. But shoving it all in one movie, I think, is just too much, especially if you're putting Carnage in there as well. And it makes me just really feel like they're going more into the Agent Venom kind of idea. But we shall see. We shall see on that. I'm not really pumped and excited ever about rated R superhero films. So I'm not really pumped for this movie being rated R. Hopefully it's just going to be a lot of violence and crazy gore and stuff like that. And I don't know. We shall see. Early reviews for Spider-Man are in. Homecoming. Some people have seen it already, and so far they say they're really good. Or at least the rumor mill that's been started by Marvel Studios is saying they're really good. However, people are saying that this may be the best Spider-Man movie yet, and it looks really, really good. Unfortunately, it looks like we've seen too much in the trailers, but it does look like it's going to be a great film, and I'm super pumped, and we are super pumped here at PCP to check that out. So TV, haven't really been watching too much TV lately, still on Friends in season 7 right now, but I have been catching up on this season of Doctor Who, and I just finished that whole trilogy there with the monks, right? I thought that was super cool and a much better version of Secret Empire. So if you're a Whovian, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a Marvel villain, a Marvillain, you know what I'm talking about as well. Also announced, though, this week, TV-wise, is that there's a possibility HBO's looking into doing a Watchmen TV series. When I first heard this, my immediate reaction was, that's terrible, they shouldn't do that. Zack Snyder did probably the most faithful adaptation of that onto film or the screen that there will ever be done. What purpose would you do, and why? They would probably want to stretch it out. It would be so slow and long and blah, blah, blah. But calmer heads prevailed, and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? That would actually be cool. There's a lot in The Watchmen that Zack Snyder was only able to hint at. Some he had to leave out completely. Some things he had to change. So it would be nice to see The Watchmen laid out, like, I really think 3 seasons max. It would be slow. It would have a really dark, somber, morose feel like the comic book does, slowed down, intricate, layered. I think it could be a good idea. Absolutely. So if that happens, I'm on board with checking it out. Absolutely. Music-wise, I went and saw an awesome concert this weekend. I saw Collective Soul, Tonic, and Our Lady Peace. This is a shirt I got at said concert. It was at a venue in Whites Creek at Fontanelle. It's outside of Nashville. It had been raining all day, but luckily it didn't rain during the show, so everything was all muddy and just wet and humid and balmy and just very miserable at first. But it was a great show. Tonic, still rocking it, did a great job. Our Lady Peace blew me away. So excited to see them. I'm a huge OLP fan. Absolutely. And Collective Soul, still rocking after all these years. And these bands, Our Lady Peace and Collective Soul, started like in 1992 or something like that. So they've been around for a while, and they're still going at it, and they still are very, very awesome. And new music coming from both of those bands, Collective Soul and Our Lady Peace, soon. There was new music this week I was super excited about. Yesterday, Friday, a brand new 311 album released, Mosaic. I've listened to it a little bit, haven't really gotten to absorb it fully, but what I've heard so far, I really, really like. For instance, Too Late, Too Much to Think, and Perfect Mistake, 3 tracks that they released before the album came out. Those are amazing. I really listened to a lot of the first half, getting into the second half, absorbing it, love it. I'm a huge 311 fan. Also, Radiohead has released their deluxe edition of OK Computer called OK Not OK. It's a remastered OK Computer with B-sides and rarities, and it's beautiful. It sounds amazing. Definitely worth checking out. Also, Gerard Way on Spotify has a Young Animal Doom Patrol playlist. I haven't listened to it yet, but I know it's got, I think, the Kinks on it, Iggy Pop, the Pixies for sure, so that looks very, very exciting. And that's what I did this week, music-wise, really. Upcoming PCP projects, let's talk about those real quick. We got a new episode of PCP Toys debuting on Monday. It's going to be Juggernaut. We've been opening up the 1991 X-Men Toy Biz Evil Mutant line, right? So we did Magneto and Apocalypse, and now we got the Juggernaut. That video is me and Jelani. It's coming out on Monday. A Spider-Man podcast will be out very soon in the next couple of weeks. It was a fun show. It was really fun to do. It's going to be time to come out right when Homecoming does, so that's exciting. We are about to record on Sunday the New York Movies podcast. So what is your favorite New York movie? Let me know down below. You may get a shout out in the show. Looking forward to doing that show with Mike the Voice Matthews and Justified Justin Goldsmith. Also, we got some Q&As coming up, so if you have a question to ask PCP or me, let us know down below, because we have a 2-year anniversary. That's right, our 2nd year done as PCP. We're celebrating our 2nd anniversary with a Q&A, so if you got a question for John and I, let us know in the comments down below. And I'm about to hit my 100th episode of Robbie Rants, so we're doing a Q&A for that one as well. So any questions directly for me, let me know down below, or check us out on Facebook, of course, and you can let us know there. We're also on Twitter at The PCP Show. We're on Instagram. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/PCP. Check it out. Lots of cool stuff. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Let me know down below what was your favorite pop culture related news or tidbit this week. What did you read? What did you watch? Why did you love it? Why did you hate it? Let us know. Love talking to you guys in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much. Once again, please do subscribe, like, and share this video. And thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading, watching, listening, and learning why you do so. Deuces.